Huffington, it's your girl Kennedy, and I'm back with another video. But who is she? Okay, like 2 videos in the same month? As you can tell by the title, we are turning a Barbie car into a purse. So what I did was I went to the thrift store and I went to the toy section and I found a Barbie car that I felt was big enough to be a purse, but also not too heavy for me to like carry around. So I still wanted to be semi-practical, even though it is art. So yeah, if you want to see the process on how I turned this car into this car, just keep on watching. So yeah, let's just get started up again.
Okay, so I'm so excited to show you guys this process, so let's just jump into it. You guys know me and you know I'm a thrifter, so of course I went to the thrift store and found this vintage Barbie car. If I'm not mistaken, it's from like 1996 or something like that, so that's my era, that's my time, that's where I live. So yeah, as you can see, it's from a kid, so it's very dirty. There's like hair and like just little like junky stuff in there, so I'm gonna give that a good washing. So I threw it in the bathtub and I'm taking this detailed paintbrush and just getting into the nooks and crannies, all up in them corners, you know what I'm saying? And it was with hot water, so that's why the sticker is very easily to come off. And as you can see, I got it for a great steal, $5. You can't beat that. So then I just let it drip dry for a few hours just because I wasn't gonna get my fingers all in the little crevices to dry it. Like, what? I have a life. Anyway, so moving forward, I got these little, I don't even know what they're called, like I want to say grommets, but that's not what they're called. I got them from Amazon, so I'll see if I can find a link because I actually got them years ago. And what I'm gonna do is use them as my purse attachments, like for the handles for the purse, you know. So I found these necklaces at Forever 21, and what attracted me to these is the chunky chain, so it'll add great support for the car, but also for these clasp things. They're so easy to take off. Like, I needed that in my life. So moving on how I'm going to actually attach the hardware to the car, I'm going to heat up an X-Acto knife until it turns red, pretty much. See how you can see that, and I'm just gonna stick it. Please do not play with fire if you are not of the age to play with fire. I don't recommend it. Also, I don't recommend it doing in your bed. So, but yeah, as you can see, I poked a little hole in there, and then I stuck the bottom part of the grommet. I need to learn the word for it, honestly, but I stuck the bottom part in there because it is a two-parter. You have to screw them together, and for extra stability I also added E6000 glue in between before I screwed them together, just so that, you know, they can be extra secure, because I feel like the purse will be kind of heavy. It is a toy at the end of the day and not a real purse, so I just screwed those in, make sure that they're extra tight, and look at, they're so cute. It's already coming together, and honestly, it just looks like an extra part of the car. Like, they're not even that noticeable. But yeah, so I just made sure that they're secure, and then I moved on to prepping my base of the car, so how I did that was I just started to sand it with an old nail file, just so that I can have like a rough surface, because if it's too smooth, the diamonds will pop off, which did happen to me. I guess I didn't sand it well in enough places. So moving on to the fun part, the diamonds, the sparkle, shine bright, shine far. Anyway, so what I did was I started with a line of E6000 glue, and then I spread it even with another paintbrush, and then I used my dotting tool. I don't even know what to call this, crystal clasper, I don't know, and I just started sticking them one by one until I got to here. I'm not gonna lie, this is all I did until I went to sleep, honestly, and then this is me waking up and showing you guys what I did, and then I just continued in the morning and just, you know, kept repeating that process of, you know, like spreading out the E6000 glue like so, and like that. Yeah, I said, ooh, she's so cute when she does it. Ooh, so dainty. Look at that feminism. And then I spread out the glue nice and easy. Like, it's really self-explanatory. Like, if you ever gloned stuff to other stuff, like, then you know you can do this process. And I'm just showing you how I'm using 2 different sizes and 2 different colors of rhinestones, and I'm just repeating that process. Just no rhyme or reason, there is no pattern or anything. I'm just sticking them where they would fit best. And like I said, I'm using a variation of sizes, so if I do have a gap, I'll just switch to a smaller or bigger size, whichever sees fit. And I'm finally done with the hood, and that only took 4 hours. So the diamonds actually came with this little tray, and that actually made it a lot easier once I started to spread them out. So as you see, I moved to the trunk, and I just kept repeating the process. Like, I'm not going to keep showing you guys how to stick a diamond to a car. Like, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So now we're moving on to the details. I mixed Mod Podge and just regular acrylic paint because I want the grill to have more realistic details, and I also painted the bumper black because naturally bumpers are usually black. And then I noticed that there is like these two empty circles in the front, so I got these rhinestones randomly from my craft section, my craft supplies at home, and I stuck the rhinestones on the front just because are these not the lights that Jeeps have? I don't know, I just felt like that looked better, or that looked best. And then I moved on to another part of the car, which was a license plate, and I used this detailed brush that I also already had, so that I can paint around the Barbie logo, which in the end I really didn't need to do that. I should have just painted over the whole entire thing and then scratched off the Barbie part to map the details show. Just would have saved me some more time. But anyway, moving on to the grill again after the paint has dried. See, dry test. I added this rub-in buff, which I also got at Michael's, and then I just use a little on my finger because that's what they say, you have to rub it onto whatever you're trying to paint, and the more you rub it, the shinier it will be. So I just rubbed those details, and like as you can see, like everything's just starting to come like just into my eyeballs. Like the details are going crazy. Like when I did this, I literally physically audibly screamed because it was just going crazy. Like I put my finger in different angles just so I can get into the crevices of the whole thing, and look at that, it just looks more realistic to me. Like moving on with more details, the same clear plastic I used from my chocolate heart bag purse I'm using for the windshield, and I'm starting off by making a pattern. There's an indentation on the window, so I just drew the little around the little indent, and then I traced it out onto the clear plastic and cut it out completely, like as one whole, so that I can still see what I'm doing when I'm placing the car in the windshield. And I used that indent as a guide to where I want to put my glue, and then I just put the windshield right into its placing. I did have a little gapping right here, but I'll cover that up with the rhinestones. And again, I'm not going to show you guys how I put the rhinestones on there. I put the glue and the rhinestones. See how you can see it? I put the glue and the rhinestones and just covered it up. Pretty easy, pretty simple. And then going along with more details, just to bring out all the details of the Barbie car, like I'm going over with black and then highlighting them with the rub and buff. And then we're moving on to the front, the windshields. This part was so satisfying to me because these diamonds fit perfectly. Again, these were on my craft supplies, but you cannot see the details of the sticker of the headlights. So what I did was I put them in this glass jar and I shook them up, and the backing just magically came off. And I was like, wow, women in STEM, like I'm just so amazing. And now that since the backing is off, you can actually see the details of the headlights. But if you're not amazing like me, what you're gonna need to do is get you some lime away, and then you're gonna put that in the glass bowl, and you're gonna put the amount of diamonds that you want to get the aluminum off of that. You're gonna put that in the bowl as well, and you want to make sure that in the do not use part it says do not use on aluminum, because you're gonna want that because it's gonna dissolve the aluminum but not the acrylic. And so yeah, I also went ahead and finished the grill by painting the rest of it black, just because I felt like that cheap plastic silver didn't compare to the details that I put in. Also, when I said that I was going to fix the gap, I glued the diamonds on top of it so that I wouldn't have that gapping. And you guys, the final product honestly makes me cry. Like the things my brain comes up with and then I'm able to just like execute it with no problem. I just impress myself each and every time. Like, look at the details, come close, come in. Like, it's just amazing. And honestly, I had to take it to the world of Barbie. If you haven't been in Santa Monica, it's so perfect. Like, the little girl in me is screaming. Like, it was the perfect place to showcase and debut this Barbie car. I had so many people coming up to me and telling me that they love my outfit and they love my car and they love my mini me, and it was pretty fun. I'm definitely gonna go again in the future, even though this was also my second time going. But here are some more detailed shots of the car. I actually used that same ribbon buff on the hinges and the handles of the car, and I painted black outlining on the outline of the trunk and the outline of the door just so those details could pop. And I'm just so obsessed with how this car came out. Thank you guys all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Love you. Bye.